What is your biggest weight? Why the heck did I do this autopilot moment? Was filling up a salt shaker over the sink so I didn't spill any salt anywhere. As soon as I filled up the salt shaker, I immediately turned it over and dumped all the salt in the sink. It was extremely deliberate and I have no idea why I did it. I've done this while cracking eggs. Got the bowl next to the sink, crack the egg on the side of the sink, open it directly over the drain, and then stare at the drain for several seconds after the egg has slimed down into the pipes, wondering how this isn't the first time I've done this. In middle school, I went to my locker to get my books for the last class of the day, French, autopiloted my jacket and bag, went home an hour early. Poured my lemonade into a cereal bowl after I had gotten home from school. Drank it like that cause I want about to dirty up 2 dishes. I want about to dirty up 2 dishes, my man. I had mouthwash in my mouth and went to look for something in the vanity drawer. I opened it and out of reflex when I looked down spat all the mouthwash into it. All over cotton buds, band-aids, my nail clippers, etc. My route to college takes me past my old high school. Without fail, at least once a year, I'll turn into the parking lot at the high school, try to park in my space, and then realize I graduated in 2008. I've been waking up at 4:30 to 5 AM for school since I was about 10. When I was around 12 I woke up, went to the bathroom to pee, took my shirt off as I was peeing, and after I was done threw my shirt in the toilet, only to realize 2 seconds later what I had done. I put my cereal back in the fridge with the milk after I make breakfast. I once stored tampons in the pantry and then found them 2 months later when I was cleaning out my kitchen cupboard. Woke up early and still super sleepy, went to go take a shower, stuck my hand, still holding my towel, into the shower to test water temperature. I've worn socks in the shower before doing the same thing. I spent hours making chicken soup from scratch, a whole raw chicken, herbs, chunks of veggies, all simmering away to make the most perfect soup possible. When it was finally ready, I set a strainer in the sink, poured it in, and watched as my beautiful soup disappeared down the drain. When I was younger my mom bought orange juice with pulp and I hated pulp. So, making a huge deal out of it, she grabbed the strainer and poured all the orange juice through the strainer into the sink, leaving only pulp. Then she got mad at me. I texted the girl I like one night asking her what's up, got the reply, hey it's Matt. Matt is her ex she had gotten back together with. Without thinking I just typed back, sup bro. I wouldn't call my best friend bro, let alone some chat I've never even met. The moment I hit send I immediately was like WTF, why is that what I said? Whenever I take the bus I roll the tickets up into little tubes, habit I've had since I was a kid. On several occasions of autopilot gone completely wrong, I have got off the bus, popped the rolled up ticket in my mouth, reached for a lighter, and set it on fire. Holy crap, this is amazing. I'm imagining the looks you must get from people. I want you to offer someone else a ticket cigarette. I used to work 60-ish hours a week when I was a retail manager, and there was one time where I woke up and got dressed, drove an hour and a half to work at 8 AM, and started preparing to open the store. My co-worker arrived and was very confused as to why I was there. It turns out it was a day off for me and I just autopiloted to work. Usually, when I drop something, I finish what I'm doing first before I pick the item back up. For example, once, I bought a grilled cheese sandwich and as I was walking to my table, the entire grilled cheese just slid off the plate onto the floor. Instead of picking it up, I walked to my table first and set my plate down before returning 10 feet to where my sandwich had fallen. I have no idea why, but my brain just autopilots me to finish doing what originally intended to do. Your sim. Once when I was around 10, I went into the bathroom to take a shower, so I turned on the water, took off my shirt, pants, shoes and socks, and stepped into the shower to let the warm water wash over me, at which point I looked down and wondered why the heck I hadn't removed my underwear. Because you were a budding never knowed. I carry a bottle of oil-based perfume in my bag, and a bottle of eye drops too. Squirted the perfume into my eye. Don't know if it counts, but I spent hours on a digital drawing where I only had to draw on one side because it was like mirrored in the middle, and what I drew on the left ended up mirrored on the right. Later when I went to brush my teeth, I only brushed the left side of my mouth like the other side would automatically get clean too. You could have shot a homemade before after commercial for toothpaste. After a long day, I grabbed my things and left my office. I got down to the metro and tried to scan my card a few times without anything happening. Then I looked down and saw that I was holding a stapler. I had grabbed my stapler instead of my badge metro card. I had to explain that to the security guy to let me back in to exchange my stapler for my badge. That's amazing. After brushing teeth, I was running my mouth. Usually I would look up, gargle, look down, spit. But I looked up and spat, and all the toothpaste covered water went all over my face. After brushing teeth, I was running my mouth. Frick you toothbrush, you freaking wiry, Emmett Brown looking piece of crap. Tried to unlock my front door with my car clicker, laughed at myself. Then tried to unlock my fridge with my work fob. Why did autopilot me think the fridge was locked? I wish our work fridge required a fob to get in. Stolen lunches are no joke. I took the subway from my college to the other side of town to where a girl I was dating lived. I was one stop away when I realized that I was supposed to have transferred twice to get on the train to go to my parents' house, about an hour ride north. I was working as a studio assistant at my college's photography lab a few years ago, and essentially I helped other students process and develop their film and photos, made sure the chemicals were refilled, the place was clean, etc. One night I was refilling the stop bath, which is concentrated acetic acid. I don't know what came over me, but I opened the container and smelled it. I got lightheaded immediately, and the thought, so frick I just killed myself, dramatically flashed in my mind. I called poison control and told them what happened, explaining I accidentally leaned over the container and caught a big whiff. And I'm sure the guy on the other line was trying not to make fun of me when he explained I essentially huffed vinegar. And if there was anything to worry about, it was the fact I might have singed my nose hairs. Nothing more. Oh frick, I just killed myself. Every time I walk into my kitchen, I open the fridge, even if I don't plan to eat or cook. In the back of my mind, I always hope I find something amazing to snack on, but I'm always disappointed. I have a lot of these in my half asleep confusion. Rubbed leave-in conditioner on my face thinking it was my moisturizer. Ran into the kitchen screaming, oh my god. I burnt the pudding after waking up while having a weird dream. Picked up the ringing phone and slammed it down while I was asleep. When my husband asked what the heck I was doing, I said, don't worry, it's just the alarm. I hit snooze. Then I got very defensive when he continued to question me. But this one tops them all. My son was maybe 3 weeks old and I was clearly sleep fricked. He started crying in the middle of the night, so I sit up, pick him up and rock him. But he's not getting any quieter. I'm starting to wonder what's wrong with this kid when I finally wake up enough to realize I'm cradling the baby monitor, and my son is still in his crib in the other room losing his mind. I'd like to say those first couple months of parenting suck, but I really don't remember much of it. When I was a new mom and severely sleep deprived, I remember half waking up when my daughter started crying. I rolled over, grabbed my boob, and tried to nurse her. She kept crying and I couldn't understand why she wasn't latching. That's when I realized that she was in her bedroom and I was actually trying to breastfeed my husband's elbow. I was taking a pee before a shower, and my brain decided that one of my socks should go in the toilet instead of the TP. And it wasn't just a toss either, I threw that sock into the pee-filled toilet with authority. Take that, toilet. I'm a heathen who makes instant coffee. I opened up a brand new jar of it, spooned some into my coffee mug, picked up the kettle, and poured the boiling water right into the whole jar of instant coffee. At least that jar of sludge smelled delicious. Getting out the card to pay for something, putting away your wallet, using the card, getting your wallet back out and putting the card away, wondering why you do this. When I was a kid, I needed note cards for some project at school the next day. My mother, wonderful woman that she is, went to Wally World to pick some up for me when I suddenly remembered very late that night. Well, I fell asleep on the couch while waiting for her. She got home with my note cards, woke me up, told me to put them in my backpack and then go to bed. When I got to school the next day, they weren't there, but I definitely remembered putting them in my bag. Fortunately for me, a friend had enough extra to share. When I got home, I went to get some juice from the fridge. Lo and behold, there were the dang note cards. I still have no idea how I ended up putting them there. The frick? Stupid kid brain? Frick it, close enough. I got contacts about a year ago. Every now and then if I can't see something clearly I bring my hand near my ear like I'm going to lift or adjust my glasses. Got up at 5 AM like I was going to work, took a shower, washed my face, brushed my teeth, the whole 9 yards. I was off that day and didn't find out until I tried to clock in and the machine wouldn't let me. I am immensely sorry you had to go through that. Not my biggest, but very regular. I autopilot out the bread, butter, plate, and a dessert spoon. Then I get to actually spreading the bread and look stupidly at the spoon in my hand. I brewed coffee this morning, took the pot and proceeded to pour it into my sugar container while my coffee cups were out and ready. Got cream in it too before my brain threw the error message. Sweet coffee. Every morning when I shower I'd have this routine where I would shampoo my hair, rinse, apply hair conditioner and then brush my teeth while the conditioner sits in my hair. Somehow I fricked it up with toothpaste in my hair and conditioner in my teeth. I literally squeezed out toothpaste from the tube into my palms and lathered my hair without noticing the texture is completely different. I also pumped conditioner on my toothbrush and didn't think it was out of the ordinary at that moment in time. Only realized my mistake when I tasted the conditioner. I pumped hand soap onto my toothbrush today instead of using toothpaste. Another time, I threw the bathroom trash into the hamper and put my clothes in the kitchen trash bin. Most of my autopilot mishaps involve the bathroom. I need a new pilot. I worked at a store and I was closing up alone. I had the money drawers on the table in the back and I was halfway through adding up when I had to pee. I went to the bathroom and grabbed my purse and left to go home for some reason. The way the door worked, I could lock it from inside, but only the manager had the key to get back inside. This was before everyone had cell phones, and I didn't have my boss's home phone number. I had to wait until the morning and rush in to meet her and apologize. I'm lucky I wasn't fired. Well, time to go home. Just last week I walked into the bathroom to take a shower. I turned on the water and sat down on the toilet and took a crap for 5-ish minutes. Then I wiped, stood up, flushed, turned the shower off and put my clean clothes on. I realized I didn't take a shower when I walked into my bedroom and I was throwing a dry towel in the hamper. P.S. I didn't go back in to take a shower. I see you to like to live dangerously. When I was a freshman in high school I had to ride the bus to school. I was supposed to be at the stop by 6:30. One morning I woke up, did my morning routine, and started walking to the bus stop. I got about halfway before my mom drove up and told me it was 2 AM on a Saturday. I was having lunch with my co-worker once. He just had a soup and grabbed a fork. Bro, you're having soup. He looks back at me, laughs a little ashamed, puts the fork back and grabs a knife. I worked in a research lab during college. When you walked into the lab a bell would chime and you were to say your name. Once I stopped working there I found myself stating my name when I would hear a bell that sounded like the one in the lab. Pavlov would be proud. It was recess time in 3rd grade and I was having my snack while drawing with chalk. I accidentally put the chalk in my mouth instead of a chip. It doesn't taste very good. For starters, I run a farm. My morning routine for feeding goes hogs, poultry, sheep, goats, rabbits, fill water, milk goats. For 6 solid years, 365 days a year I have done exactly this routine. One particularly rough morning, I hadn't slept. My husband watched as I totally emptied bags of feed. For some reason, I got off track and fed hogs, poultry, sheep, filled water, walked past the goats and thought, crap, haven't fed them yet, but once I got back to the feed room I started the process completely over. 3 times. The first 3 animal species were thrilled. The goats and rabbits were looking at me like I was a dumbass. Hubby finally came outside. gasping for air from laughing so hard, and told me to go get some coffee. One time I was driving my friends home and we were driving on the German autobahn. I was driving about 150 km per hour, too lazy to look up the exact mph. And as I was driving, a friend shouted, "Now take this exit ramp," when we were 20 meters in front of it, with 150 km per hour. But because I was still on autopilot, I was just like okay and switched the lanes to the right, without slowing down at all. The moment I had to steer, I realized that I made a terrible mistake. So suddenly my car lost all of its traction and we were sliding to all sides of the road from the opposite lane to the green grass next to our lane, always switching the side the car was facing because I was counter steering all the time. During this whole process everything happened in slow motion, and if you looked into our faces, we all were calm as frick. After this whole thing we were standing, still on the exit ramp, looked at each other and started laughing as I continued driving them home. Not until the next 10 minutes I realized how easily we all could have died there. We promised ourselves to not tell anyone about this incident, and you are probably the first ones who know about it. When I drive and something happens, even when it's not my fault, I wouldn't hear the end of it knowing my friends. I was getting coffee at 7-Eleven and putting creamer in my cup. I zoned out and poured creamer down the trash and threw the empty little container in the cup. Watching TV and making cereal. Got everything ready, my bowl, cereal, and milk. Then, without realizing, I poured milk into my cereal box. This is not an error, this is how one should eat cereal, a whole box at a time, frick bowls. Walked into the bathroom, opened a drawer, spit in the drawer, closed it, and walked out. My sister was in there brushing her teeth, and was very confused. I have no idea why I did that, it just happened. I have drunken way more dirty paint water than I care to admit. I always make the mistake of putting my drink next to my brush water, then without thinking, reach out and take a sip, only to realize that I have drunken from the wrong cup. Drank. Drunken is an adjective to describe the state of someone who is intoxicated. Finished a morning meeting at work, took the train home and almost got there before going. Wait, it's only 2 PM. I need to get back to the office. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.